What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another bonus balance update review. And today we have our long-awaited 11.8. Yes, 11.8. This goes live today, actually. So I think it's live right now. I think so. Yeah, live August 20th, and today's the 20th. So it's up. It's up now, or at least update soon. I'm not entirely sure. I just saw this and decided I was going to review it. I think from 11.8 there was a lot of things that got buffed and nerfed. Specific gods like Mulan and Medusa got nerfed. Items like Abyssal Stone and Curse Weaver got buffed pretty heavily, at least in terms of Joust and utilization in Joust. So we'll see how much they change there. Again, most of these updates are based on Conquest, and then the lingering effects in other game modes, not so much important. Especially now that Smite 2 is about to be, in about literally 1 week, is going to be up 24/7. So we'll see how much these updates are going to be impactful. I'm assuming once Smite 2 finally comes out, Smite 1's not going to get anything, but we'll see. Anyways, the URL will be in the description down below to these patch notes if you want to take a look at it yourself. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. I did hear a couple things about this not being very impactful, but we'll see. Actually, let me turn this light on. You guys, let's see. We may notice. Amazing. Okay, on to item number 1. We have Boomba Spear. Not an item that really many people talk about. It removed the bonus structure damage. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how impactful that was, at least in Conquest. But I think the difference between both upgraded starters, at least Boomba's Spear and Boomba's Hammer, along with the other starters for the other junglers, for the other jungle starts, not really. I feel like they're in a somewhat balanced spot. I think it's always the battle between Boomba Spear, Boomba's Hammer, and what was it, Eye of the Jungle, and I can't remember the other one's name, but the one that used to give you attack speed. Either way, remove bonus structure damage. I'm not entirely sure how impactful that'll be. I don't know too much about these type of starters, but if I had to imagine, let's see, the junglers are not gonna be able to do as much damage. So I'm not entirely sure how much that was a meta in Conquest. I think I would have heard about it if it was that big of a deal. Let's see. A starter upgrade provides a variety of bonuses against objectives of many kinds, but we notice an uptick in usage of item structures. By removing it, we're aiming to limit the usage of this item for split pushing. I don't know if there was really split pushing. Maybe there was. I probably would have heard of it. I play a decent amount of Conquest, just not as much as I do Joust, but interesting. Oh, horrific Emblem. Decreased duration from 5 seconds to 4 seconds, and remove the ability to remove active shields. Oh no. Oh my god, that's how I feel about this nerf. Yawn. No, this I'm not entirely sure why we got rid of active I mean, I guess I understand. There's a lot of items now that remove shields. I mean, you got Envenom Executioner. You still have Sunder, Erosion. I can't remember the other item, the mage item that gives you shield reduction. I can never remember the fucking name. Either way, and then now you have Horrific Emblem that gets rid of shields. So I guess it's a little bit bloated in terms of shields being able to, counter them. Let's see, and also it's got two. You gotta remember this does do anti-heal as well, but again, remember they got rid of another stat of this item, and it was bloated, to be fair, but now they're getting rid of another one. Since this item's absorption of a cursed Ankh it has seen extreme success for supports and other frontliners in a variety of modes. We're removing its ability to remove shields with Sundering Spirit now being the go-to for this effect. Ideally, the adjustment combined with a small duration nerf will outwire. Yeah, so I mean, I really wasn't picking up this item a lot anyways. I still think it was pretty solid. If you're going double tank, at least in Joust, you'd go one would go Horrific Emblem, the other person would go Sunder if you're going up against double tanks, especially with ones who have a lot of shields. This just helps a lot of the shield characters like Nike, Odin, and you know, Charon just to have more impact. But this also means that Sunder is a lot better now, seeing it's the only one that gets rid of shields. But you know, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It just kind of, I don't know if that was like what we really needed to do. I think Horrific Emblem was in a fine spot. Maybe a little bit overtuned a little bit, but nothing crazy. Same thing with the upgraded versions, exactly the same. And that's all your items. Interesting. Going into gods of Amana bug fix. Rank 5 now properly has the increased projectile speed from its 11.8 buff. If you guys remember, Umbrella Rang actually has increased speed. I've been watching some gameplay on Vamana, and that Umbrella Rang is actually kind of you gotta get used to it if you played enough Vamana. But I do think it's pretty cool. So I guess there was a bug that was you weren't getting rank 5. You weren't getting into rank 5. So now that's fixed. Nerfs Bacchus. Ooh, we're banning Bacchus. I'm sorry, nerfing Bacchus. Belly Fop decreased damage from 90 to 270 to 80 to 260, and then Belch of the Gods from 30 to 90 to 25 to 85. So 5 power on his 3. Remember, I think it's per tick as well. Decreased damage from 90 to 270, so 10 overall. And to be fair, I mean, Bacchus gets innate power in his kit, in his 1 and his passive, and along with his ult, I believe. So he actually has a lot of potential to do a lot of damage. His base damage is already pretty high, and that's, you know, I mean, as Bacchus, if you've seen a couple of my videos or just know how he plays, you don't need to build any damage, and you can have hit squishies. So, honestly, I think this definitely was a little bit needed. It's not going to change too much, though. Still going to do a lot of damage, just maybe not as impactful. Danza is getting a nerf. Decreased damage scaling from 80 to 75 on his 1, and an increased cooldown by 10 seconds. I'm going to be honest, I don't think this was that big of an issue. So I guess. I just don't think that... I mean, maybe... what do they say? The Sneaky Tanuki has been fooling players left and right with how much damage he's been outputting. A small decrease to his damage. I mean, he had a lot of burst. But I don't think a lot of people were picking him up, at least as of recently, because of the other builds that other hunters are just better with that Danza is not as good with. I think Danza is good with having at least hybrid damage like Transcendence and stuff like that. There is somebody mowing the damn lawn. But I'll finish this up and then I'll pause it or some shit. But, oh, he stopped. No, he's coming back. But yeah, I just think that I don't think he was he really that? Did he really need to not nerf that bad? I mean, he did have a lot of bursts, but again, I think the other hunters were just have the better builds, I guess, than Danza coming out with this. I think Danza was in a fine spot. Buffs. Yamoja's getting a buff. I don't know if Yamoja really needs a buff more than I think she probably needs a change of her kit. Because, like, she is, like, one of the best guardians / supports in the game at a very high level. But even at a low or medium level, she's just not great because not a lot of people are good with her. So I wonder if maybe we should balance that a little bit by changing her kit. I don't know. Maybe that's just food for thought. Because this guy just never gets played except at high levels and banned at high levels. So whatever, I guess. Omi decreased Omi level gates from 6, 11, and 16 to 5. Wait. Decreased Omi level gates from 6, 11, 16 to 5, 10, and 15. So you're going to be getting those gates a little bit quicker by 1 level. Bouncing Bubble increased damage from 40 to 180 to 45 to 185. So, you know, a little bit more damage in her initial one, part of her one. And again, her one switches. Moonstrike, this is her stun. Increased inner damage from 50 to 210 to 55 to 215, so 5 damage. Increased outer damage from 20 to 100 to 25 to 125. Oh wow, it scales a lot towards the end. You get an extra 25 damage on the outer damage, which is actually pretty good because the outer damage doesn't do as much damage. So that's pretty cool. I still don't think the problem lies in her kit about what her kit does, more just like how she is as a god. But we'll see how that goes. Ishtar getting some big buffs. I do play Ishtar a decent amount. Rolling Thunder, that's her 2. Decreased cooldown from 15 at all ranks from 15 to 13. So you're going to have that up. And usually you level this up first, at least I do, and then you're 1. So honestly, you're going to have this benefits. You're going to have 2-second less cooldown right out the gate. So that's actually pretty good. Jolt increased arrow damage from 110% to 120% of your basic. So an extra 10% increase in based on your basic attack power. So that's actually really good as well. Blades of Retribution increased damage scaling from 45% to 50% by 5%. This is actually a pretty good buff. Honestly, I might start playing Ishtar more, even though I don't play hunters that much. Ishtar is actually looking pretty nice. That's actually a pretty decent buff. So if you're not playing her already, start playing her again, because this is actually pretty nice. Ooh, a girl Tiamat getting some buffs. Primordial Onslaught increased damage scaling from 30 to 35%. Another 5% damage scaling. Nice. Increased damage scaling from 50% to 55%. My god, another 5% increase in scaling damage. That's her 1 in her regular, or in her land form. This is her 1 in her flying form. Outburst increased damage scaling from, okay, so another 5% increased scaling. So that's about 15% increased scaling once you once you use all these use all these abilities in tandem. So like when you use your 1 and then you 3 down, and then now you're in your land form, you can use outburst and then consume, and you do an extra 5% on both, which does a lot more damage, or at least scaling. So you're gonna be doing a lot more damage, which is actually, that's pretty big too. Increasing her damage is kind of wild. I mean, I do think that Tiamat was not in the greatest spot, but because she does have to scale with the way her abilities are, almost always buying Tablet of Destinies. And then obviously you have to level up her kit to do more things, especially with her 1. So actually I kind of like this. I might start playing Tiamat more. And also she's not the hardest god to play, but she does have a really significant skill ceiling. Mom and Brigitte, no one really plays her, although I think her burst is actually pretty insane, at least with her 1. Madam Fang's decreased cooldown from 13 to 11 to 11 in all ranks, so making that 13 scale to 11, just 11 overall, which is nice. Explosion of Souls increased damage from 160 to 360 to 190 to 370, so an extra 10 flat damage. Oh wait, okay, so it actually initially gets 30. So at the beginning of the game, she's gonna have a lot more damage, but does teeter off once you do start leveling it up. So 30 initially, and then 10 overall once you level it up, which overall is a pretty decent nerf. This just makes her early game a lot better, especially with the decrease in this. So her early game is going to be a lot more potent. And then finally, Amaterasu. And this is the one that I've been hearing about. Heavenly Reflection decreased cooldown from 12 seconds on ranks to 12 to 10. 10 seconds on her too. That's pretty crazy. Dazzling Offensive increased damage from 80 to 260 to 100 to 260. And then very similar to Mammon, you're actually getting an extra 20 damage at the beginning, but does actually at the end does nothing. Just makes her early game a little bit more more effective. My god, can't talk. And then similarly with this as well, that's pretty crazy. If you don't know, I believe her 2 gives her damage mitigation, and seeing as you're leveling this ability up first to begin with, for most of the part, you're gonna get that 10.5 to 10 second cooldown all the time. Now if you add like a cooldown item like Pridwin, which is actually pretty solid on her, or like a Spirit Robe or some shit, I mean, you're cutting that down to what, 8 seconds, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 seconds. That's gonna be kind of crazy. You're just gonna have damage mitigation all the time. That's pretty wild. That's actually, as much as that doesn't seem like a lot, for Ama specifically, that's pretty good. We'll have to see how impactful it is, because having damage mitigation up for like every, I mean, and also you can hold on to your 2 for a decent amount of time, so you're gonna have that damage mitigation for a while, and then your cooldown is just gonna be able to go back and forth, and just have damage mitigation for a while. Yeah, we're gonna see how that goes, but I do believe that this is gonna make Ama a lot more playable. We're definitely gonna see how this impacts her, but that is it. Pretty short overall, outside of Horrific Emblem, which I'm not gonna be picking up as much anymore. Still think it's pretty solid, but the shields kind of make it not as desirable. So Horrific Emblem, Ishtar is a lot better now, Tiamat's a lot better, and obviously Ama's a lot better. You know, outside of those, nothing too crazy. I kind of wanted to see a Curse Weaver nerf a little bit, just by a small. I think buffing it was fine, but maybe not by 2.5%. Maybe we can make a median, or like a, you know, a middle ground, maybe like 6%. I don't know, something, or at least decrease the cooldown in its passive or whatever. But we'll have to wait till 11.9 or Smite 2. We'll see how these next few weeks go. This is a very interesting predicament we're in terms of the transition between Smite 1 and Smite 2, as it's right on the horizon, boys. Smite 2, very uncertain as well, in terms of, you know, bonus balances, how Smite 2 is going to even, you know, perform. I've been seeing numbers dip a lot, so we'll see about that. But 11.9, and then obviously people have been asking about the tournament for around the gold plat area. Sorry. This is also another predicament we're trying to figure out, as well as with Smite 2 on the horizon. We've been warned that Smite 1 servers, at least the custom servers, might be maybe a little weird, depending on what'll happen with Smite 2, as Smite 2 is going to ramp up their servers, and we don't know how that's going to affect Smite 1 custom servers. So we'll have to see. Once we get a little bit more information after August 27th, when Smite 2 comes out, we'll give you some more information about everything. We'll see how Smite 1 performs after that, and as well as Smite 2 and the tournaments. So, tangent aside, this is your 11.8 bonus balance. Again, the URL will be in the description down below if you want to take a look at it yourself. But what do you guys think? Feedback, suggestions, think I may have missed something, let me know in the comment section down below. Discord in the description down below if you'd like to join, if you haven't already. Great community and a good way to contact me. Memberships are open if you'd like to support me. One of the best ways, it is $2.99 a month, but obviously you don't need to, as that's so you simply watching my video is good enough for me. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching.